bowling balls, baseballs. Have they watched my new special on Netflix? I think they should. It's out now. Still there.
Oh my God.
Hasn't done anything. Well, it's done things. It's still, I mean, it hasn't, cooked you a meal or nothing.
What's the title of the show?
I don't know about that.
Yeah, usually you do. You sing it in there.
All right. Hey, everyone. Thank you for tuning into the podcast. We're in England right now.
It looks like you're between Newcastle upon Tyne and Sheffield. You got a break here.
That means I'm in Australia.
That means you're on a 24-hour flight
that's right.
now.
Yeah.
I have 3 days off, and I'm doing one show in Sydney, so two 24-hour flights with a show in the middle. Sounds like hell. And I've just been
having fun.
No, but it's good as well. It's good to be working. And I had an interview with Sydney, and they're like, "What are you going to do while you're here?" The show. And then get on a plane again.
Go back to the UK.
Yeah, it's going to look like on my passport I'm doing a drug run.
Yeah.
It's not going to be so quick.
We have a friend sitting in with us.
We have a friend, Nolan Gould.
Hi.
That's his second name.
Hello.
Nolan.
Hey, you learned. He's learning.
Nolan's on our Patreon today, and we actually recorded this out of sequence. We've already recorded the guest, and we've just done the Patreon, so Nolan's sticking around for the intro, and then he's going to magically disappear.
Yeah.
Before we're on. With the UK tour, all the shows are sold out, or all but sold out. Like there might be 50, 60 tickets, except for the extra show added in Newcastle, in Manchester, and the extra show added in London. So there's still tickets for those. The Manchester Apollo and the Hammersmith Apollo in London. So there you go. Come out and see me.
That's where you shot a special of yours.
If you watch the special and you're worried it's going to be the same material, it's not. It's going to be all the material that didn't make it on the
And then you're back for a couple weeks, and then you're off to Europe.
Stuff.
And so still some tickets on sale for some of the Europe gigs.
So the UK's all but sold out, and the European, it depends what city you're in. Some European cities are sold out, some aren't. We're still half full in Milan. Come on, you Italians. Come out and watch some comedy. That's a
little more like Brooklyn.
That'll endear me to them. Aren't they real Italians? I thought they were real Italian people.
DiCaprio will tell you.
Yeah, so...
and Iceland.
I think Iceland's selling pretty good.
Okay.
There's an extra show added in Poland, so
Warsaw.
Come out to Warsaw. And then there's the one, Rotterdam is like an 8,000 seat venue, so it's selling very well, but there's still tickets available for that because it's a fucking massive venue for comedy. Rotterdam.
Is that the Rotterdam Ahoy?
We normally go to Amsterdam, but they told me to go to Rotterdam. I don't know. What's their prostitutes like? I don't know.
Doesn't matter. You're not into prostitutes.
I'm not, but I still like to look at them through the window.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I like to wander around Amsterdam and look at them in windows whilst being high.
Window shopping.
Don't take that joy away from me, Forrest.
I don't think you're going to have a day off in Rotterdam. You're just going to have to do it.
I do it in the afternoon, Forrest.
There you go.
I do it before the show.
From Antwerp to Rotterdam, we'll be driving that from Belgium to the Netherlands.
Now,
that'll be a drive.
Also, so I got Amos Gill and Forrest Shaw in Europe, and I got the wonderful Glenn Wool and Andrew Maxwell opening for me. And I forgot that it's the old school British way. So they're going to be doing the first half and then an interval, and then I come out. So we're looking forward to it.
Good stuff. IDCAP podcast and Instagram. Follow that, please.
Yeah, and patreon.com/IDCAP.
To see Nolan.
You want to hear me talk about things?
We talk about a party at his house. We've got a whole big story. Me and Nolan, we go way back to this party.
You can hear our beef.
I said this to you as you came in. I had dinner with Steve Levitan, who created Modern Family. You know that. And
I've met him.
Yeah, you've met him.
I've met him.
He was probably hanging around set.
I've heard his name for sure.
He's always at the front of the TV show, but never saw him in person.
I tell you, he couldn't speak more highly of you, mate. He said he's one of the smartest young men he's ever met, and he's met me.
You're not young.
Yeah, I'm younger than him.
Yeah, true.
Younger. I'm not substantially younger than him, but I'm a little bit younger.
Please welcome our guest, Abby Pratt.
G'day, Abby. Now it's time to play. Is it time to play, Jack?
I'm playing it.
Oh, I can't hear it. I'll just say yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. Falling book, bang.
It'll go in post.
Okay.
All right, can we have the camera on Abby quickly? So Abby's just got artwork behind her that's very underscript, so I can't really tell anything. Although it does look a little bit like... Okay, are you in medicine, Abby?
No.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe that was a doctory type of bit of artwork. I don't know.
No, I'm at my dining table. That is an egg. So that has nothing to do with what I said.
You're not at work. Okay. All right. Okay.
No.
Is it something to do with sports?
Nope.
No, nothing to do with sports. Something to do with the entertainment business?
Nope.
Oh, the human body yet again?
No.
No, oh, good. I'm done with the human
want a
body.
hint?
I just had some hemorrhoids banded today. I don't need to know anything more about the human body. I want to think about dogs' bodies. Is it a dog's body?
Nope.
Dog bodies.
Closer,
It is an animal.
I guess.
It's an animal.
Oh, an animal.
It's an animal, and it isn't similar, but you might think it is similar to an animal we've already done.
I can't believe any animals we've already done.
You can't think of anything?
I can't think of an animal we've already done. Have we done an animal
We've
before?
done plenty of
We've done
animals.
lots of
We've done
animals.
specific animals and large groups of animals.
Oh, we've done like dolphins and shit, right?
We've never done dolphins.
We did elephants, but it's not. We did elephants. We did.
Is it an elephant?
No, I said some people will think it is similar, but it is
Woolly
different.
mammoth.
It's a water animal.
It
Oh,
was.
what? Is it a manatee? You did manatees.
We did manatees, but it's not manatee. We're not doing a repeat.
Is
of the
it,
animal.
is it dolphins?
No. But
It's like an elephant in the water.
Oh, a walrus.
No,
that-
it's not like
Nope.
an
It's not like an elephant in the water.
Although
What are you
that's what
talking
you
about?
guys are saying.
No.
Yeah,
I don't understand these hints.
Elephants are very strong swimmers, you know. You wouldn't think to look
true.
at them. Yeah, they're
Oh, it
very...
must be elephants then.
We did squid.
Oh, octopus.
There you go.
Yes.
Yeah, they're allegedly different, are they?
the elephants of the sea.
Where the hell did elephant come
You think octopus and squid are the same?
I think they're very close.
We'll find out on this episode.
I think you would be racist to say that they're different. I think in a workplace, if you went, hey, look, we're an octopus company. We don't know these squids coming in here. Right? People would go, that's wrong, that. They're just like us, but they have ink.
Okay. Abby Pratt is a PhD candidate at Southern Illinois University in Carbondale, Illinois, where she studies the evolution and biogeography of cephalopods. She has also studied the diversity and habitat preferences of deep-sea octopods. There you go.
What are we doing, squid or octopus?
Octopus.
Octopus. All right,
We've already done
okay.
squid. You can find her on Instagram.
How did that one go?
I don't think you did very well,
Okay.
but we learned a lot.
Okay.
People liked the episode. You can find Abby on Instagram at Feltologist. That's F-E-L-T, like feltologist, where she posts pictures of animals made from felt and shares fun facts. What is that? You make the animals from felt?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
How
wanna see those.
did you start that up? That seems like a hobby.
Yeah, I craft a lot. A lot
Yeah.
of sewing and things.
My mother always made animals, teddy bears and stuff.
Well, Abby, but
That's all she did all day. She was making bears.
but she'll give you facts about them too. She knows about stuff, you know.
About
She's-
felt.
No, she studies octopus, so for instance. So,
Octopi.
well, first question. Okay, we're gonna ask Jim some questions. Let me get to that first. We're gonna ask Jim some questions, Abby. A series of questions. He's gonna answer them. At the end of them, you're gonna grade him 0 through 10, 10 being the most accurate. Kelly's gonna grade him on confidence. I'm gonna grade him on etc. We're gonna add them all together. If you
One of these better be Octopussy.
it's not.
Missed
Sorry.
opportunity there.
Okay, I'll make it that. 21 through 30, Octopus's Garden.
Okay.
You like the Beatles?
I love the Beatles. Yeah, yeah.
11 through 20, Octopussy. That's what I wrote
Octopussy.
down here.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, yeah.
0 through 10, Olive Garden.
Why Olive Garden? Oh, because the different gardens. What was
great.
what was
Yeah.
your alternative garden in the middle there?
Grey Gardens.
What's Grey Gardens?
That documentary that I figured you would have watched because you love documentaries.
Is that the one about the octopus?
No, it's about two ladies.
Me-
I don't never watched it. It's like Aaron was telling me.
Me and my octopus friend.
It's Octopussy.
That was a good one.
11 to 20.
I don't know. It was a South African guy. The accent grates on me.
Okay, well, there we go. I'm switching it. All right. First question. What is the plural of octopus?
Octopi.
Okay. Any other ones?
Octopuses.
Okay. What is the
I
science?
always thought like octopus, like when I was a kid and Octopussy came out,
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty good. You know what I
Nailed
mean?
it.
Like I was maybe 8 or something like that when they came out, and I thought, fucking
Well
good,
done.
good work, James Bond. Now they wouldn't do it. He's too PC, James Bond.
Yep.
Yeah, sex with like one girl every movie. He used to have sex with like 7 or 8. What's happened to you, James Bond?
It used to be a nice pornography.
Yeah, he used to use his gadgets to like. He had a watch where he could undress people and stuff like that. Not today.
Nope. What is the scientific name of an octopus?
Oh, the staphylococci.
Well, that's
How do you spell that?
It's a disease.
What does cephalopod mean?
Cephalopod.
Yeah.
Cephalopod. Ceph from the Greek for smurf. It's a blue octopus.
Okay. What are their limbs called?
Tentacles.
There you go. What is found inside an octopus's mantle?
Well, there's an urn of dead granddad's octopus.
All the ashes?
All the ashes
Yeah,
is up
okay.
there. A couple of holiday photos, and at Christmas, like 8 stockings for each person.
Wow.
Oh no, we only put one up, so they get 4. They get 4.
Okay. Yeah, you did the math. Good.
Yeah.
How do they protect themselves from predators?
I saw that movie. Okay, so they can disguise themselves. That octopus went down the scene. He covered himself in shells and stuff, and they dart away like this.
What movie is this?
This is the one about my friend the octopus.
Oh, the octopus. My friend, the octopus teacher. Or
Yeah, the octopus. My teacher, the octopus. Or
Yeah,
something
I've
like
never
that.
seen it, but I know.
It's a South African bloke that just hangs out with an octopus every day.
And that's how they protect themselves, by covering them.
Well, this one covered itself in shells, and then like he had one of his arms ripped off, his tentacles ripped off, and it grew back, man.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
How many brains do they have?
Oh, no, they got multiple because you wouldn't ask the question otherwise.
Maybe I would.
I believe they have. So a cow has 2 stomachs.
No, they have one stomach
How's that
with
relate
4
to an
chambers. We already did this on the episode.
I would say they have 2 brains, similar to that of like a dolphin, so they can sleep and stay awake.
Okay. A dolphin has 1 brain, but yeah.
No, but they can do that.
Yeah,
Oh,
they can. One side on and off.
One side
Yeah,
on and
That's
off.
good. You remember that. Approximately how many species are there? Different species.
I remember the squid one now. That blue
coming back.
whales eat hundreds of squids every day, and
Yeah.
my wife won't let me eat octopus because my wife is vegan. God bless her. She's very
Yeah.
nice. And I in many ways I love her, but she won't let me eat.
You're saying that the whale eats a lot of squid, so why can't
She
I?
says I can eat squid, but I can't eat octopus because octopuses are intelligent. They're very, very smart,
Squid are dumb.
and squid are dumb. What was the question?
How many species are there?
Oh. I'm going to say there'd be 400 different species of octopi.
You kind of already answered this. Are octopuses and squids basically the same? You say yes.
You say no, but
I'm not saying anything.
I've had these fights with you before, Forrest.
Fights?
Yeah. Oh, no, dolphins aren't fish. Well,
They aren't.
yeah, but who would they have a better chat to?
Yeah, I know.
Right?
That's
So
it.
I'm going back to like, you can say that dolphins are more like us than fish, but they wouldn't want to chat with us. They'd rather chat to a fish, right?
Yeah.
I would say that squids and octopuses, although biologically aren't similar, I reckon if they would hang out at school,
Okay.
they'd be in the same clique.
What color is their blood?
They're blue-blooded like all good Americans.
Blue blood. How do they get pregnant?
Or red-blooded. Which one's the Americans? Red,
Red
white, and
Red
blue.
is American, yeah.
Yeah, damn right.
Red-blooded.
Red blood. How do they get pregnant?
Oh God, Forrest, I have to teach you this again.
Yeah.
Draw
me a picture.
They start off with a bit of foreplay, right? One octopus comes up to another octopus, and they play footsies or tentaclies, as they call
Yeah,
it. Bit of romance, bit of flirting. Then when it gets like really dark, it sounds bad because for us it would sound like fisting, which would be very painful. But with a tentacle, they poke a bit with their tentacles into the hole. And then they pull out their penis and they insert their octopus penis. My Octopus Teacher Penis was the original name of that documentary.
How many hearts do they have?
2 hearts.
Where's the mouth located?
Underneath the belly there.
Okay. What do they eat?
Plankton.
Plankton. What do you call a newly hatched octopus?
Baby pie.
What?
Baby pie?
Octopi. Baby pie.
Okay. Chromatophores allow an octopus to do what?
Teach them how to spell chromatically.
Okay.
What is the what? How do you spell grammatically?
It's like
just A, B, C, D?
Because it's chromatophores, and it's like a tutor when you're not
Right.
passing octopi high.
How quickly can an octopus change color?
They can change color. Okay.
All right, next
Okay.
question.
Okay. No. Let me.
Let him at least guess.
5 seconds.
5 seconds. What are iridophores? Iridophores?
Iridophores.
Iridophores. Thank you. Iridophores.
Iridophores.
I can't pronounce that.
They're the forceps that a octopus gynecologist uses.
How long does an octopus typically live for?
Ooh, I know this one.
Yeah. From that documentary, you know?
Yeah, I did. I have to search the recesses of my brain. I feel since I've taken up weed, my memory's not as good as it was.
Yeah.
That's
That'll
weird.
happen.
Yeah, but there's no side effects, they reckon. It's all just healthy. I'm going to go... What was the question?
How long do they live?
Oh,
Typically. Average.
36 years. But the giant octopus lives into its 80s.
How do they breathe?
They're underwater, Forrest.
Okay. They don't breathe?
They do that thing with the gills and all that type of stuff. They have gills, man.
Gills?
Yeah,
Okay.
gills.
A female blanket octopus, that's a type of octopus,
Yeah.
is blank times heavier than a male blanket octopus. So it's bigger. How much bigger?
11 times heavy.
11 times heavier.
Yeah.
Why do they collect things? You said that already. They collect
Yeah, they
shells? Okay.
cover them up, and also, just the same reason we do. They're known as the hoarders of the sea.
Okay, a couple more questions. What is morphallaxis?
More
Alaxis.
Morph.
Alaxis. MORPHALLAXIS.
That's when they grow back their arms. They're morphing new things.
Okay. In certain cases, autophagy in octopods has been observed. What is autophagy?
You give me options.
AUTOPHAGY.
Oh, I thought you were going to go
Autophagy.
A. That's where they mate for life and they partner up.
Okay, last
They get
question.
married.
The giant Pacific octopus is
Yeah.
the largest in the world. How big does it get, like length and weight?
I'm going to say it's half a ton,
Half a ton.
and I'm going to go. It's 10 feet high and it's 20 feet wide.
10 by 20 ton. Okay. Abby, how you doing?
Half a ton.
How did Jim do in his knowledge of octopus?
Pretty good, huh?
10's the best.
Your sound
Oh,
gone.
A
There we go.
few correct.
Oh,
You got a few correct. Okay.
oh, really?
Okay, so
But I'm still going to have to go with, maybe an 11.
wait, no, 10's the highest.
1 to
10's
10
1 to
for
10.
all of it.
No, we're gonna add the other 10 to make it to
got it,
30.
got it.
Yeah. So
Then I'm going to go with maybe like a 3.
Oh, that's
3.
not as good as
Yeah.
that.
11 felt really good for a second, didn't it?
Yeah,
Three.
no,
11.
I got the scale wrong. A 3.
Yeah.
I've eaten octopus. Remember that phase, baby octopus salad?
The phase.
Nope.
Yeah, there was like.
Cupcakes and baby octopus salad.
No,
Yeah.
but remember in the 80s, you'd have pizza that had sun-dried tomatoes on it and chicken, and that was pesto. That was like a thing. And then we went through a Chipotle phase, and then we went through a sriracha era. Remember the
Yeah.
era of sriracha?
And baby octopus salad made
In
that?
Australia, there was a baby octopus salad, and it was always on every menu through the 90s.
All right.
And it was like leaves, but it had baby octopuses dumped on top of it. And now that I know they're intelligent, and it's just, I feel bad about those ones. The bigger ones who lived a life. Say la vie.
So Abby gave him a 3. What'd you give him on confidence?
Just middle of the road confidence. We'll give him a 5.
5. That's 8. I'll give you 6 here.
I don't
Octopussy.
come to this podcast to get abused by you people.
You like Octopussy? I made you Octopussy.
Octopussy.
Yeah, there you go. All right, Abby. What is the plural of octopus? Is it octopi or octopussies? Is that any of that's correct?
So if we're going technically, which no one does, it's octopodes, Podes. It is a Greek word. So it comes from Greek. And so if you put I at the end, that's a Latin ending, and that's like mixing things. But nobody says octopodes. So either octopods, Pods, or octopuses. Octopi is definitely not an option.
Wow.
Okay.
What is the scientific name of an octopus? Is it Staphylococci?
No, that is bacteria. So it is a scientific name. It's just not the one for octopus. It depends what level you're looking at. So all octopuses are octopoda, but there are 2 different kinds of octopuses. We have inserata and cirrata. Incerata are the ones that we think of as octopuses. That's the one in My Octopus Teacher. The like typical octopus. The serrate octopuses are Dumbo octopuses, and they have fins on their mantles that look like elephant ears, and then webs between their arms, and then they have these like cirri, which are kind of like little mini tentacles down the length of their arms.
They're really cute.
How did you get into octopuses? That seems like a very exact type of thing. You always loved octopuses, or is it just felt...
I grew up in San Diego, so I grew up going to the tide pools like all the time. We would go to the beach once a week, so I always loved the ocean, knew I wanted to be a marine biologist. But in college, I applied for some internships. I got one at the Smithsonian Natural History Museum in DC, and I got paired with an octopus scientist. And so my job was to look at some octopuses and figure out what species they were. And then from then on, I just love them. They're great.
Cool. What does cephalopod mean? Is it blue octopus, ceph from the Greek for Smurf? Oh.
Ceph is head. So an octopus or cephalopod means head, foot. So with us, we go head, body, and then arms and legs. A cephalopod goes body, head, appendages.
I'm going to start calling them Ceph jobs. That'll be my new thing.
Do you know how to spell it? CEPH.
I don't need to spell it.
Okay.
Well, it won't be written communication.
Yeah. I'm famous enough that I don't text those things anymore.
All right. And so we call it cephalopod. So octopuses are cephalopods.
Cephalopods, man.
Head, foot.
Yes.
Okay.
Foot.
What are their limbs called? Tentacles? Is that correct?
They are arms. Octopuses actually have no tentacles.
What did I get right? Like, I thought octopi and tentacles were my winning answers.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you were saying?
Octopuses have arms because they have suckers from the base of their tentacle or base of their arms all the way. See, I even mess up sometimes. The base of their arms all the way down to the tips. Squids are the ones that have tentacles. So squids have 8 arms and 2 tentacles, and the tentacles have no suckers until you get to the tip, which there's like a club-shaped thing, and that's where all the suckers are on a tentacle.
You never seen that with a squid? They have those 2 things hanging down with like little kind of. Those are the tentacles.
Yeah.
Okay, you got it. Cool. We're learning.
What's the difference between a squid and an octopus?
Yeah, we can jump ahead to that. Like he said, what did you answer? You said, I think there's not, but there's gonna be.
Yeah, there's gonna be.
And they're biologically similar. They would hang out at school, same clique. So octopus and squids, how are they different? The same?
They are close. They're pretty closely related. They're 2 kind of separate groups, but they're in the same like main group evolutionarily. But the main difference is the number of appendages and what kind of appendages. All squids also have fins on their mantles, and most octopuses don't, except for those Dumbo octopuses. But they also, a lot of them have differences in their behavior. Octopuses are pretty solitary and most of them live in kind of dens built of rocks or whatever. And then squids, a lot of them live in the open ocean. There are some ones that live on reefs, but a lot of squids live in the open ocean where they just don't see the bottom their entire life.
Do they ever hang out with each other? Like, do they get along if you put them?
He wants to know if he got a point on this.
If you put them in an aquarium, do they argue, and then it's like, they don't get along. You don't want to be near those ink people.
I don't know if they don't get along. I'm sure they would try to eat each other if they could.
So octopuses are meant to be highly intelligent, right? That's the okay. Are squids highly intelligent? I should remember this from the podcast. I probably asked this exact question. Are squids highly intelligent?
I think squids are not as smart as octopuses. They don't live in as like complex of an environment. So octopuses, a lot of them live on coral reefs where there's like a lot of stuff going on. But if you're a squid and you live in the middle of the ocean, there's not really any like problems to solve necessarily.
Don't squids have a hole in their
brain? So they
brain?
don't have to be as smart as the octopus.
So if an octopus meets a squid, they'd just be like this, oh, bloody hell, a squid comes up. And then the squid would be like this, hello, octopus! And it'd be like, oh, God, I'm just sitting here in my garden. And the bloody dickheads come over. Oh, I just spilled ink on the wall.
Yeah, the squids have a hole in their brain.
You remember that from the podcast?
Yeah.
Okay. And
so do octopus.
Oh, shit.
Because they're the same.
You mentioned mantle there when you're discussing the difference. What is found inside an octopus's
First of all,
mantle?
what is a mantle?
Yeah, what is a mantle, and what do we find inside of it? We know it's not an
So
urn.
the mantle is what looks like the head of the octopus. It's that like big bulbous part on the back.
Why don't you just call it a head then? This
the
is
head
the
of-
problem with you scientists. The common man, and which I am, I call it a head. Call me old-fashioned.
Yeah, we like to make things complicated.
I don't go into the doctors and just go, I've got a mantle injury and I need your help. There's a problem. I've got a mantle ache. I need some Panadol. Anyway, so you were
so
saying
the head
the
of
mantle?
the octopus is pretty small. It's like just where the eyes are. That
There
kind
is
of,
a
like,
head, Jim.
section. There is a head. And that section, just where the eyes are, that's where the brain is. That's where like the optic lobes are, which are pretty big on an octopus because they have such good eyesight. But that mantle is essentially kind of like their torso. That's where all their guts are. That's where their gills are, their heart,
Yeah.
plural, which we'll talk about. And then
You can discuss all that. We can jump ahead, like
They've
hearts,
got like
brains.
Picasso
Great,
body.
yeah.
So how many
It's all in the wrong place.
how many hearts do they have, and what happens if one of them cuts out?
So you get that's like their body though, because they have to put all their organs up there. So they can't have it hanging
they're
down.
all head. They're all head.
Yeah, mantle.
They're head with legs,
Okay.
heads and legs.
So brains and hearts, we can talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah, so octopuses have 3 hearts. They have 2 for each set of gills. And
One
then they
for
have one main
emotions.
like organ heart that pumps the blood throughout the body to the rest of the organs.
3 hearts.
Does that mean they fall in love easy?
And they don't really like each other except for when they have to mate. They don't.
So they're like
Hang out.
humans.
Yeah.
We only have 1 heart though.
And even when they try to mate, sometimes they eat each other. So
If one heart stops working, does the other heart take over? Like, is it like kidneys with us?
So I think if one of the gill hearts stops, it's possible. But that main body heart is the only heart that is pumping blood to the rest of the organs. So if that dies, then the octopus isn't going to live. But when an octopus swims, so when they use that jet propulsion where they shoot the water out of their little funnel thing, their main heart stops. And so they're not getting oxygen to the rest of their body. So most times when you see an octopus, they're kind of crawling around the bottom. And that's because doing the actual swimming motion where they're like jetting away from you is really costly because one of their hearts stops. So they're not getting the oxygen that they need.
How did you figure that out? That sounds hard to track down.
Well,
Yeah, I'm not sure. That's a great question because
that is a good
I would not
question.
have.
Because I always heard this about, like, no one can figure out how a cat purrs. That's meant to be one of the big mysteries of the world. No, how the sound is made. Is there a flap of skin? What's going on? But yet we've found out that octopuses have one heart that stops when they're jetting or something.
Their blood heart.
Their
the one
blood
that pumps
heart.
the blood.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then the other 2. And that's how they breathe, with the other 2 hearts over the gills.
Yeah, so the other 2 hearts are also pumping blood. They're just pumping blood through the gills
Got
to
it.
pick the oxygen up out of the water.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think I'd like gills.
Yeah, so would I.
Yeah.
Waterworld.
That's
Kevin
what,
Costner.
That's what Forrest reckoned. We need more holes. We shouldn't have a feeding hole and a breathing hole, the same hole.
Yeah.
Same hole.
If
Terrible.
we have a separate hole for breathing.
Yeah. Every day, I'll see somebody take a sip of water and go like that, or a popcorn kernel goes down in their lung, and I'm like, what a dumb design.
My own saliva goes down there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be laying
Your
still.
body betrays you every
I'll be
single
laying
day.
still, and then I'll start choking, and there's no
Yeah.
graceful way to do it, and people just sort of look at you like you're a moron.
Yeah, so I think a blowhole would be good, but if you wear a hat, then you're in trouble. So yeah, maybe some gills on the side with some hearts.
And okay, here's the question,
Yeah.
right? Where would you put the cocaine if you had the feeding hole?
You
and
still have a
blood?
nose.
Yeah, but that's so we still have this as a breathing hole.
Or you just get 2 tubes. One goes to your nose. I mean, that's the problem is the tube goes to your
yeah,
mouth
but you
and
don't
your
want the
nose.
cocaine going into your lungs.
Yeah, I don't know.
You breathe it up, and then you want anything. I'm
Into
just
the
saying.
blowhole. Yeah.
You reckon you just pour it up
Yeah.
the blowhole?
Yeah, right there. Goes straight to the brain.
It's a good thing I quit that drug, so I won't ever have to do that. I won't have to figure out the protocol with when they bring in the blowhole.
How many brains do they have?
So a lot of places say that there's 9 brains. There's technically one actual brain, like a brain structure, but and that that's the ring around the esophagus. So it has a hole through it, and the esophagus runs through the brain. But each of the arms can do their own thing. They don't have to talk to the brain like our body does. And so they can kind of like think for themselves, do their own thing. They don't have to like think about it.
So each arm has a brain? So you've got the head brain, and then each arm has a brain? So it's
not... Yeah, so they don't actually have like a brain, but they can do their own thing.
Do they have their own emotions, each arm?
Like a nerve bundle or something?
No, I know that sounds silly, but like you got one arm that's like, I'm depressed. Hey, let's do things. I'm depressed.
I think what she's saying is they're not fully developed brains, but they can function on their own.
Yeah, they can multitask. So one can be picking things up, one can be doing something else.
It's like Dr. Oct, and Spider-Man.
Is one more intelligent or coordinated than the other then? If they can do their own things. Like I know, I've always wanted to write a buddy cop show. I've told you my theory on this.
Yeah.
And it's called Left Arm, Right Arm. Yeah. And right arm's a maverick cop who can do things and throw things, and left arm's just a moron. Can't pick anything up, just, I stabilise things.
Yeah.
So is it like that?
I think they all function pretty much the same. Another cool thing that these arms can do is they can taste. Octopuses taste through their suckers. So that's why they explore a lot with their arms, because they're kind of sensing their surroundings.
And is it plankton they eat? What do they eat?
They mostly eat crab. They kind of eat everything. They eat crabs, shrimps, fish, other octopuses. I've seen a picture of them eating a shark.
Yeah, they eat octopus. I feel less guilty now.
Yeah.
And why am I standing?
Yeah, no, they're eating each other.
Yeah, why have I got to be the great barrier that stops this whole thing?
Well, there's a lot of us. There's 8 billion people. So it's a lot of us.
But are they endangered octopus? I'm sure some breeds are. Are they endangered?
So I don't think we know enough to say that any one specific species is endangered, but in general, they're doing pretty good. There have been studies to show that they might even benefit from climate change, unlike some other species. God. So they seem to do.
You have ruined the planet. You have done really badly, except for the octopus.
Yeah.
The only ones. Maybe they're behind it.
You can tell your wife now that you can eat octopus.
Maybe the octopuses are behind climate change.
You can also eat them. They don't have a very long lifespan.
She says I don't do it very well.
Yeah, this I think this makes a difference too. What she's going to say right now.
They don't have a very long lifespan. She said.
They don't have a very long lifespan, so
Jim said
they reproduce quickly. So there's always more octopuses being made. So you don't really have to worry about like depleting the population if you eat a few octopuses.
So what is their lifespan? I think Jim said
he said 36 years.
36 years.
Octopus.
The giant octopus get in their 80s.
Correct.
Yeah, a lot less than that.
But some could
anywhere from 6 months to 5 years. But most octopuses live maybe a year and a half.
I always think that with animals, they don't live very long. It's like when you meet like an octopus that's 2, it's just like, I've seen some things.
So this is why you don't eat them.
Let me tell you about COVID.
This is why they tell you that your wife's telling you not to eat them, is because their lifespans are short, so you need to leave them out there so they can reproduce.
Why can't we just wait till they die and then eat? It's always, you got to kill them to eat them, because otherwise they'll rot.
You don't want a rotting octopus.
Yeah, it'd be like eating like a really old cow.
I have an idea for a restaurant, and it's a seafood restaurant, but it's an octopus tank. Like you know when you pick your lobster out of the tank, you get an octopus. That'd be fun, wouldn't it? It'd dart around. You'd have to go. You get one of those claws.
There are places in, I don't know where, but sometimes they serve like a live octopus.
Oh, that's Korea. Korea does the live octopus thing.
Yeah.
And it's still wiggling on the plate, and they think that's awesome.
I don't like that.
No, I don't like that either.
If you had an octopus tank like a lobster tank, would you have to worry about them escaping?
I'd worry about them eating each other.
That's true. You're like, no.
They are notoriously hard. Yeah, 1, you would have to worry about them eating each other. When you keep octopuses, you don't want to keep them together. 2, they are notoriously good escape artists.
That's why
the only hard part in their entire body is their mouth. So like a really big octopus could probably fit in a hole the size of a quarter, because the only thing they have that's stopping them from fitting in that hole is their mouth.
Yeah.
Well, there's something new.
So like any small little hole in the tank, they're going to escape. They're also super smart, so they can probably figure their way out.
That'd be a chaotic restaurant.
That's why you can never have a bachelor season with octopuses.
Yeah, that's
That's why
Yeah.
that's what
We've
we've
been
all
trying
been
to figure
saying.
it out, but here's the answer.
It's like you have them all in the mansion, then there's that one male octopus, and all the female octopuses are off in the mansion. And he goes, "Oh, I'm going to go over there." "Oh, you've all fucking eaten each other." And then there was Big Bertha, the octopus, and she's sitting there going, "What?" And she's just full of all the other octopuses. That'll happen.
I thought it was because they could squeeze in the small holes.
And they could also escape.
Okay, yeah. If you go to YouTube and you put octopus, you can see them. I've seen them on the ship before. A huge octopus.
Yeah.
And it'll squeeze through just a hole that they have for drainage for the deck. That's like
It's like under
so
a door.
small, it just goes
Yeah.
like through there and escapes. Amazing.
It's wild.
Yeah. How do they protect themselves from predators? Jim said they can disguise themselves, cover themselves in shells. They can dart away quickly.
And they can lose a limb and then grow it back and lose that. Like, you ever seen like geckos that lose their tail?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they can do that type of thing.
Is this where you got the
Yeah,
point?
so this was one of your questions that you were 100% correct on.
right.
There's just some other things. They do cover themselves in shells, but they also camouflage. So they'll blend in with their surroundings. They have ink, so they'll squirt ink, and what that does is like whatever's trying to eat them is going to think that ink is what they're trying to eat, and then the octopus can get away while the fish or whatever's trying to eat them gets confused.
Why is it always squid ink pasta and never octopus ink pasta? I've always heard of squid ink. I never hear of octopus ink. Is it marketing?
That's a good question. I'm not entirely sure where they get the ink from the squid. If it's captive squid, I think squid are.
Yeah, like do they kill it and they extract the ink? I imagine that's how they do it. Or do they just like scoop it
There's
up?
ink farms. The guy goes out there like with
Scare
a
a
cow.
lot of squids.
They get the ink out.
Yeah, I told you I had a poo that was as black as black.
Oh,
It was the night sky without the
Stars.
because I also ate some glitter that day. But
Stop
anyway,
eating that.
yeah, but it was black as black. And I said to my wife, I said, "Oh, something wrong with me," because it was like when I used to drink Guinness. I was like, "How does this happen?" And she goes, "What have you eaten?" And I said, "Oh, I had an orange yesterday. I had that squid ink pasta. I don't know what it is." So I had to lay off the squid ink pasta. It was always,
Just scary aftermath.
yeah, it just goes straight through you.
Yeah, like
Everything.
beets.
Oh, do beets do that to you?
Yeah, if you eat like beets, your pee will like turn like
If
reddish.
if I get cousin Maine lobster and I get myself 6 lobster rolls, which I think I'll eat over a couple of days, and I eat them all in one sitting, which I've done, I have a lovely pink turd afterwards.
Pig?
Yeah, because
Like
the
a
lobster,
flamingo, yeah.
like the lobster, I'm like, it almost looks edible again.
It's disgusting. Okay, and how do they? The ink, is it like? Can they produce a lot of ink, or do they, if they do an ink cloud, do they have to like Do you know?
As far as
they can produce a lot of ink, so I think they might have to like produce a little bit more, but I think they can produce a lot of ink. The clouds are pretty big.
And what's the purpose of the ink except for escaping? Does it give them virility? Does it give them energy? Is it gives them color? What does it do? Is it just used for escaping and pasta?
It's just protection and
Because they're tasty. Things want to eat octopus because they're tasty to us, but they're tasty to other animals.
Oh, so the ink, so they put that up there and then the fish are like, I'll just eat this shit.
Yeah, that's what you were saying. They squirt it and they start chomping at the ink thinking it's the octopus, and then the
they
octopus
get confused.
gets away and goes under a rock or
Yeah, it's a
something.
diversion.
Yeah.
Do they ever, is it ever like embarrassing for like a squid? Do they ever like just like they're talking to a girl and then a bit of ink comes out and they're
Like
like,
sneeze.
Finding Nemo?
Yeah.
Or is that what it was? Yeah.
I'm so embarrassed.
They sneeze, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, ink comes out. Funny joke.
I'm not sure they have that
Can they,
complex of
what I'm
emotions,
saying
so
is,
you never know.
do they involuntarily lose their ink?
No, it's usually when they are startled.
Okay. Approximately how many species are there? Jim said 400. Do we know how many? Or
There's around 300, but I'm sure there are plenty more waiting to be discovered. I was just an undergrad in college, and during my internship, I discovered a new species of octopus. So they're really just kind of out there waiting.
Did you name it after you?
I named it after my dad. It's Octopus Giraldi.
So your dad's name was Octopus too.
Yes.
That's convenient. Yeah. That's cool. You got the name of an octopus. That's really cool. What color is their blood? Is it red?
It is blue.
I said blue-blooded Americans, and then I went back to the red.
Yeah. You had it right at first.
I said Americans, but I said blue-blooded.
Got a half
Blue
point.
Blood is a CBS show.
Yeah. So their blood is blue.
Yeah, so we have iron in our blood, and that's what binds to the oxygen and makes it red. That's why if we like cut something and put it in our mouth, it tastes like pennies. But cephalopods and other invertebrates use copper. And so when the copper binds to the oxygen, it is blue. So they have hemocyanin instead of hemoglobin, which is what we have in our cells. And it helps them deal with a wide range of temperatures. So there are octopuses living in Antarctica. And then there are also octopuses in like the tropics right on the equator. So they're in really warm waters and they're also in really cold waters. And this copper in their blood helps them carry the oxygen at all of those temperatures.
Where, if you want to go octopus spotting, where is it? Like Australia or Fiji, Canada? Where do you go?
You could find an octopus pretty much anywhere. But I would say go to a coral reef. Octopuses, there's a lot of fish there that the octopuses can eat.
I saw one when I was with you on the Great Barrier Reef.
Great Barrier Reef.
Saw one there. I've seen them in Mexico. I've seen them in Florida. I've seen them all over the place. Where is the mouth located? Underneath the belly?
Underneath the
So
head
the
of
mouth is in the center of all of the arms. So if you
That's
like
what I
open
meant,
up the arms of the octopus, you'll see the mouth there. And the mouth is a beak. It kind of looks like a parrot beak. And like I said, that's the only hard part of the entire octopus's body.
And that's so I can chisel off things, like so I can chew things, right? That's why it's hard.
Yeah, so they also have a tongue-like thing called a radula, and it is kind of like a tongue covered in teeth. And all snails and things have it. So they use that beak and then also that tongue to like drill a hole in a shell to eat it, or crush the crabs that they like to eat, things like that. Because they're eating a lot of things with a lot of hard parts.
All right, let's get to what's the biggest one.
Well, no. How do they get pregnant?
Oh, how do they get pregnant? That's a good one as well.
We'll skip that one.
I'll do some jokes here.
Yeah.
You watch.
So octopuses don't have external genitalia in the way that we think about it. Male octopuses have a modified arm. And that arm has a groove that runs down it. And then there's like a specialized structure at the tip. And they only have one of these arms. It's called the hectocotylus. And so they'll stick that in the female's mantle.
I got that right.
So you were right about fisting. They'll stick that in the female's mantle and fertilize the eggs that way.
So you were right about fisting. That's going to be a chapter in my book.
Okay. Well, Jim, you got
And then
halfway.
some species of octopus will rip their hectocotylus off and leave it in the female's mantle. Those are the ones that usually have a different size female and male. So they'll rip their arm off, put it in the female's mantle, and then the males go and die.
Wow.
That's
pretty rough.
Only the man has
Lorena
the,
Bobbitt octopus. Yeah.
only the man has the mantle, and
No.
the woman has it too.
Yeah.
No, they both have mantles, but the women.
No, the arm with the
man.
Yeah, that's the
the male octopus will have.
Are there so no 69? The woman can't reciprocate back. It's just him doing that.
Nope.
I don't think they're enjoying sex that way.
Is there any homosexual octopuses? Do they ever go for it?
They haven't found gay octopuses, but there are kind of gay squid.
Oh yes, squid all day. Squid all day is showing up with their arms wailing around.
They in the deep sea, it's really hard to find a mate. And so they've found male squids with spermatophores stuck to them, because when a squid finds another squid, they'll just kind of like, I hope this is a male, I hope this is a female. Let me stick a spermatophore on there.
Oh, they can't
because
tell
it's just so
by
hard
looking.
to find another squid that they'll take their chance.
Yeah.
It's like
crazy.
being in prison.
What do you call a newly hatched octopus? Baby pie? I don't
Baby
think that's
pie.
That is a paralarvae, or a paralarva, and then paralarvae is plural. So like a caterpillar is the larva of a butterfly. Octopuses don't go through a metamorphosis like that, where they change so drastically from the larva to the adult. So that's why it's just called a paralarvae. It's in the plankton, so it just floats around. It doesn't kind of swim on its own. And it looks like a really tiny, tiny little baby octopus.
And here's all the stuff about changing color, camouflaging, right? Chromatophores, and how quickly can they change color? Can we talk about all that?
And what's the best way to cook them?
Okay, talk about that first.
I say lemon and herbs,
People grill them.
bit of garlic.
Yeah.
Is she laughing or cut out? Oh, no,
She's
cut
crying.
out.
She's crying, Jim. Yeah.
You there?
Abby, hold on a second.
Abby, you're
I
frozen.
think you're cutting out.
You're frozen.
You just when you cook
And she just said a bit of salt,
No, Abby.
pan fry.
I don't know if you can hear us, but we're
No.
lost the connection with you. It's cutting in and out.
Why don't we ever batter them and deep fry them? I think that would be nice.
I'm surprised they don't.
That's what they do with squid. Yeah.
Yeah,
We
like-
lost her. Did we lose her?
Because calamari's my jam.
Oh. Yeah.
Whoa,
Whoa. What's that? What's happening?
What's going on?
You've become an Andy Warhol painting.
There.
Yeah, she's
Okay,
back.
we're
You're
back.
Okay, am I back?
That was
You're back.
crazy.
You're
I mean,
back.
something happened. That was like an acid trip for a second. I don't know what happened, but it was cool.
There's a big thunderstorm outside, so I think my internet.
Oh, where are you right now, Abby?
I'm in Illinois.
Illinois,
Yeah. We didn't hear anything when you asked Jim about how do you prepare them. You cut out completely. I don't even know if you eat them. I'm assuming
okay.
you don't. But yeah.
I just said you got to make sure you cook it correct. I don't know exactly how to cook it, but if you overcook it, it's like chewing rubber. So
You don't eat them,
Just-
right?
yeah.
Because you study them and you're close to them.
Is calamari octopus or squid?
calamari, squid. So I mostly eat squid, but I'd eat an octopus. I just don't seek it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get that.
If I was in Spain and
That's
they
me.
offered me an octopus, I would eat it.
That's
we're
like
gonna
that's
be
like
Spain.
me and penises.
We're gonna be in Spain. We're
I
gonna have
don't
some
seek
octopus.
it out, but if it's right in front of me face and everyone else is eating it,
I don't think so. I would say that you're being silly there. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, so the chromatophores. That's how they
Yeah.
change color, correct?
So the chromatophores, I like to think of them as like they're different. They're cells in the octopus's skin, and I like to think of them kind of as water balloons. So they're filled with this pigment, and then when the muscles contract, they make the chromatophores big, and then when the muscles relax, the chromatophores get smaller. And so the bigger the chromatophores, the more color is going to be showing. And so you won't see as much of the white background of the skin, so the octopus is going to look darker in that area.
How many
And the chromatophores come in red, yellow, and brown.
oh, that's the color. So these are the three colors: red, yellow, and brown.
Yeah.
Can they mix colors because they're the primary colors?
Yeah, so they have different chromatophores for different colors. So each chromatophore will only have that one color in it.
And then they just blend it. And how quickly can they change color? 5 seconds, Jim said? Or?
Pretty much instantaneously.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Like, it's like imperceptible to me how fast.
And how do they match it always? I'm like, so their eye has to see it and that connects to the chromatophores to let them know it's the exact color? Like,
So
Well, they can look at their
up
arms.
until, I think
Put it
there's
next
some
to
new
something.
research on this, but I'm not 100% sure. Mostly they see in black and white.
Really, but you said
But they
had
can
such-
still match the color
huh.
pretty exact. And we think it's because they're seeing like the different shadows. So like the light and the dark. And then they only have 3 colors of chromatophores.
Yeah.
So they just make those colors and hopefully match the light and the dark.
Yeah, because if they're by
wild.
sand or something like that, yeah, they'll get in the
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
What happens if they see themselves in the mirror? How do they change color then? Because they'll be seeing themselves. I don't know.
Yeah, I think they just change color as in like if they were going to see another octopus.
Right. And is there one? Is there one?
Sometimes
color,
there's like messaging.
Is there one color that they become when they're trying to attract a mate?
So I'm not sure in octopuses, but in squids and cuttlefish, they have signaling colors for mating. And like one half. So this is one of my favorite things is that these squids, they'll have one pattern that's like the male pattern that I want to mate with you pattern. And then they can do half and half. So one side of their body is the male, I want to mate with you pattern. There's a female over here. And then the other half of their body is, oh, I'm just a female. I'm not mating with anybody, so that the other males don't come and try to take their female. So they kind of trick them.
Right.
That's cool.
Oh, yeah. Wish I had that.
What would you do?
I would say, hey, girls, I'm married. Lay off. Change my colour.
Yeah. Well, that's sort of what like a ring is.
Yeah, I always forget to wear that, though.
Ah, well.
I try to keep my wedding ring on as much as possible, but I can't sleep with it. I
Why?
can't.
Your fingers swell?
My hands swell in the middle of the night, and then it feels uncomfortable. Or I'll hit myself in the head while I'm sleeping. I'm a basic moron.
Okay.
I've scratched my face with it and stuff like that. Like I'm not used to it, so I leave it on the bedside table. But I try to remember it as much as possible.
What are iridophores?
Iridophores are another cell that helps with camouflage, but these help reflect light. And so that's what, if you see an octopus looking almost iridescent in parts, that's what the iridophores are doing.
And iridophore is also a medication for
this can help
attention
them
deficit.
add more colors, not just the brown, the yellows, and the reds. That light can reflect blue, it can reflect greenish, and so that can help give the octopus more color options.
Okay, Jim, you wanted to we'll skip ahead to this. The giant Pacific octopus is the largest in the world. How big does it get? He says it's a half ton, 10 feet high by 20 foot wide.
So they can get to, the largest on record was almost 20 feet across and 200 pounds. But usually they get to be like 2 meters to 4 meters. So 7 feet to 13 feet long or wide from like their arm span. And then they usually weigh more than 50 pounds.
So why are they why in
range.
movies are they always dragging down a whole ship?
Yeah.
That's the giant squid, I think.
Yeah, that's the kraken, and they don't get that big. I mean, a giant squid gets pretty big, but it still doesn't get that big.
So how does it get that big in a year? They must grow at a very rapid pace, right? Because
They grow really fast.
So how small is a baby giant octopus? Like a tennis ball?
So the paralarvae are pretty small. So they're like maybe a centimeter. But a giant Pacific octopus is one of the longer lived species. So they live for 3 to 5 years instead of just that 1 year. But still, that's not very much time. So they do grow pretty fast.
Right.
And then the female blanket octopus, which I'm not familiar with, is blank times heavier than a male blanket octopus. Jim said 11 times heavier.
It is 10,000 to 40,000 times heavier than the male.
It's a big octopus.
So,
Yeah.
so the males are just little tiny guys, and the females just. Is this one of the ones where they break off the appendage?
Yeah. Do they
Exactly.
Do they eat the men after they? It feels like
I think the man just dies. I don't think it's big enough for it to like actually be considered prey.
Right.
That's
But
one
the
time.
females are 6.5 feet, 2 meters long, and then the males are 2.5 centimeters to 1 inch.
I hope they do all the manual labor in their society.
Yeah.
The blanket octopus. Yeah.
Yeah, the female one and all the. Yeah.
What is morphallaxis? Is it when they grow their arms back?
Exactly.
Ah, it's the other point. Yeah.
Yeah. So instead of forming a scab like we do or other animals do, they just form new tissue, and then the arm grows back in around like 130 days. You'll have a fully functioning arm.
And then the last question. In certain cases, autophagy in octopods has been observed. What is autophagy?
That's when they eat their own arms. It's mostly happens. We mostly observe it in aquarium or aquaria. And they thought maybe they were stressed because octopus need a lot of like stimulation. They don't like to just be in an aquarium doing nothing. They thought maybe they were hungry, so they tried overfeeding it. That didn't change it. But they start eating their own arms, and then they die pretty soon after. And then they also found out that it's infectious. So they think it's some sort of like neurological disease that's making these octopus eat their own arms, because they're also like having some weird behavior before the autophagy starts.
So is it just being?
there's some weird.
Is it just being in prison then? Is it just that?
She's saying that, yeah, that
Like-
they thought maybe, but they don't.
Yeah, but like they do it in captivity. But do they? Because I remember you telling me about sonar with dolphins, right?
Yeah.
If they're in a concrete pond, they're not happy if they got
They'll
open.
shut it down, the sonar sometimes.
Yeah. So do they have some type of wow, wow, wow going on with them?
I don't know.
So they think stress can contribute to it, but it's probably like a bacteria or a virus or something that's causing it. And we just notice it in captivity and not in the wild because we don't observe an octopus in the wild for very long. And also probably if they start doing weird behavior, they're just going to get eaten in the wild. So we don't really have a chance to observe this.
It's like The Last of Us. I just started watching that last night. Pretty scary. But I don't know. Maybe it's a fungal infection. That's what happened the last... You're not watching that show?
That's the new one.
It's on HBO. It's good.
It's the guy with Mandalorians in it.
Mandalorian's in it. Yep. He's in it. Mandalorian can't help anyone. All right. This is a part of our show called Dinner Party Facts. We ask our guests to give our listeners an obscure, interesting fact that they can use to impress people about the subject. What do you got for us, Abby?
So octopuses can recognize faces.
Wait,
there was one
one second.
Story.
Abby, you cut out. You cut out at the beginning. If you could just start over. Sorry.
Okay. So octopuses can recognize different faces. So one aquaria captive octopus, every time a certain night guard would walk by, it would jet water out of its tank and spray the night guard. And it was only this one specific guy. So they did some research, and certain people touched the octopus with like a bristly stick, and then certain people fed the octopus. And they always had like this combative response to those people with the bristly stick, even after. Like they've learned that those people are not good versus the feeding people are friendly. So they can have like favorites among people.
Oh.
So they're super, super smart in that.
I'm going to have to stop hitting octopuses with bristly sticks.
Yeah, that guy must have done something. The security guard must have done something to him.
Yeah.
Touched him in a way he didn't like. Well, I think you can eat octopus after this now. They eat each other.
I still eat it.
They eat their own arms.
I still eat it. I just tell my wife I don't eat it.
I'm going to say it's okay.
There you go.
All right. And now I can't convince her. It's never happening.
Thank you, Abby Pratt, for being here. Again, go to her Instagram page at Feltologist, Feltologist, and check out her animals that she makes there and fun facts. And thanks for being on our show.
Well, thank you for being on the show, Abby. We can't thank you enough. It was
Thanks for having me.
Very informative. We learned about octopi.
Did you learn?
Damn it, I didn't learn anything. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're ever at a party and someone comes up to you and goes, an octopus can't eat its arms, go, I don't know about that. And then hit him with a bristly stick.
Bristly stick. What?
Good night, Australia.